Today I will be sharing 3 quick and interesting appetizer or starter recipes. So if you're planning a home party, treat your guests with these yummy dishes and I'm sure they will keep talking about your food for a long time. So let's begin with our first dish, Cajun potatoes. These are about 12 to 13 baby potatoes that I have steam cooked in a pressure cooker. We are now going to pan fry these potatoes, so let's make the covering for it. For the covering batter, take 4 tablespoons of cornstarch. To that, add 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour or maida and half teaspoon of salt. Mix these 3 ingredients in a bowl and now we will add half cup water to this to make a paste. Add the water in parts, not at one go, and keep breaking the lumps to form a smooth consistency. Use the entire half cup of water as it's required for this proportion. This is the consistency that we need. Before we fry the potatoes, we are going to slightly flatten them using a masher, or you can do this with hands as well. Our potatoes are flattened. In a pan, add about half cup of oil. Once the oil is hot, we are going to dip the potatoes in the covering batter that we made and fry them on both the sides. As the potatoes are already cooked, just shallow fry them on a medium flame. Avoid deep frying the potatoes, otherwise they will become stiff to break. The potatoes have started browning, which means they are ready. After all the potatoes have browned, take them off the flame and place them on a kitchen roll to remove the excess oil. We are now going to make the Cajun sauce required for the dish. To make this sauce, in a bowl, take 3/4 cup of veg mayonnaise, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of red pepper flakes, teaspoon of onion powder, half teaspoon of red chili powder, 1 teaspoon of mixed herbs and half teaspoon of pepper powder. If you don't have mixed herbs at home, you can use oregano, thyme or rosemary, whichever one that you have. After blending all the spice powders with the mayo, add a few drops of food coloring. I'm using red color here. It will just enhance the look of the sauce by making it look brighter. Now start adding some milk. We have to use about half cup to give this sauce a flowing consistency. Keep adding the milk in parts, blend well and then add some more. If you want, you can use a hand blender for this. This is the perfect thickness that we need. So now let's start the assembly. To present this dish, first start placing all the potatoes in your serving plate. Now pour the sauce over each potato and then garnish it with some chopped onion and coriander. Partly cover the potato with the sauce so that the potato also can be seen. This looks nice that way, and also people don't have to do guesswork and will know what's there inside. So our first appetizer is all ready to be served. If you're hosting a party at home on this New Year's, do try this dish. It's really a quick fix for last minute party plans. Let's move on to our next appetizer, which is also my personal favorite, a short crust pastry with a minced chicken filling. Instead of minced chicken, you can use your favorite meat. We begin with making the dough for the pastry crust, for which you will need 100 grams of butter. We are using cold butter here. Chop the butter in small pieces first so that it is easier to blend with the flour. In a big bowl, take 170 grams of refined flour or maida. It's better to sieve the flour if you feel it's not fine enough. To the flour, add the butter that we have chopped, and using your fingers, start crumbling the butter into the flour till it is super fine. As you can see, the flour has turned very soft, and you can rub it in your hands just to feel the texture and also to make sure there are no lumps. Now add 1 tablespoon of castor sugar. I am using brown sugar, but you can use white sugar as well, and 1 egg yolk. Blend all these ingredients well using a knife or a spoon. Now start adding the water. We need 2 tablespoons. Once the mixture starts coming together, use your hands and knead a dough. You can add some amount of flour to make the dough tight if it is a little loose. Make sure the dough is soft but not sticky. Now we will cover our dough with a baking paper. If you have a plastic wrap, use that, and we have to refrigerate this for about 10 minutes. While our dough is resting in the fridge, let's prepare the meat filling. So I'm using the leftover oil from pan frying the potatoes. First I've added 1.5 teaspoons of ginger garlic paste, to which I'm adding 1 chopped onion. Fry the onion till it becomes translucent or light pink in color. Now add 1 chopped tomato, half a teaspoon of salt to cook the tomatoes. Mix well and close the lid. After tomatoes turn soggy, just mash them using a masher. Now it's time to add the dry spices, 1/4 teaspoon turmeric and 4 teaspoons of chicken masala. Chicken masala is a ready spice mix that I'm using. Half teaspoon of red chili powder. After the spices are cooked, add minced chicken. I'm using 200 grams of minced chicken here. Blend the spices and the chicken well. Add some water and close the lid until the chicken cooks. After the chicken is cooked and ready, close the flame and add some lemon juice, cheese. I've used 2 cheese cubes and fresh coriander. I'm again going to use the masher because I want the chicken to be very fine as it's going in as a filling. After 10 to 15 minutes in the fridge, the pastry dough is ready to be rolled out. Sprinkle some flour and using a rolling pin, roll out the dough in a big circle. The thickness will not be more than about half centimeter. If you have a circular pastry mold, you can use that. Otherwise, you can use the lid of any tin. Cut out the big circles for the base of the pastry. For the lids, I'm using cookie cutters, which I have in interesting shapes. So you can do the same as well. I'm going to bake these pies in a muffin tray. So I have a tray which has the capacity of 6. I've greased the tray lightly using some oil, and now I'm placing the base in every section. After you're done lining the tray with the base, using a fork, just poke this base so that it doesn't fluff up while baking. Now add the chicken mince filling in each pastry. I'm using 1 tablespoon for measurement. Now place the lids carefully. After placing the lids, we are going to give a milk wash so that it kind of seals the edges and the meat doesn't come out. Preheat your oven at 180 degrees Celsius and bake these pastries for 25 minutes. Before serving these hot short crust pastry mince pies, garnish them with oregano and basil leaves. I can vouch that your guests will keep talking about this one appetizer that you serve them for days on end after the party. So I'm looking forward to you making this and giving me a lot of feedbacks. And finally, let's move on to our last dish, which is zucchini cheese rolls. This is quite a fun appetizer because this is supposed to be eaten cold, and that's what makes it unique. The very first thing we need to do is clean a zucchini and then cut it into a long piece, say about 5 inches long. Using a peeler, first peel off the skin. Now for the rolls, we are going to need thin slices, which you can make using the same peeler. This is how you peel it to get the perfect slice. Now grease your baking dish with some olive oil and place the zucchini peels that we just made. Apply about 2 teaspoons of olive oil on these zucchini slices and garnish with some pepper. We are now going to bake these slices at 150 degrees Celsius for 5 minutes. Meanwhile, let's make the cheese filling. So I'm using feta cheese, about 3 tablespoons. To the cheese, I've added 1 teaspoon lemon juice, 1 teaspoon freshly ground pepper powder. This is black pepper. Lastly, add half cup of chopped basil leaves and blend very well. After 5 minutes, our zucchini slices are baked and it's already time for assembly. Isn't this the easiest starter ever? For the presentation, take a spinach leaf and divide it in half. Ideally use a baby spinach leaf because that's small in size, but I could not source it, so I'm using the normal spinach leaf. Place the spinach leaf on the zucchini slice and fill it with cheese and just roll it. That's it, our zucchini cheese rolls are ready, but then you need to keep them in the fridge to make them cold and then have them. Lastly, I'm going to garnish the rolls with some olives and lock them in place with the toothpicks. Because of the tangy and salty flavor of feta cheese, this appetizer goes very well with wines as well as your other drinks. Do make these appetizers at home and give me a feedback on how you like my recipes. And a very happy new year to all.